Hey there, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Meadowbrook Kids. We have a great lesson planned for you, and our ponder point today is God as Trustworthy. And we're going to learn that through the Feast of the First Fruits and my friend Emily. All right, it's going to be a great lesson for that. But before we do that, let's go over our memory verse for this week. All right, our memory verse is this: "The Lord your God is with you, the mighty warrior who saves. He will take great delight in you. In his love, he will no longer rebuke you, but will rejoice over you with singing." Zephaniah 3:17. All right, that's such a great verse. All right, I want you guys to work on it. Make sure you guys get it memorized because we're going to have a new verse next week. All right, well, before we get into our lesson, we hear from Emily, we're going to play a game, and this game is called Rhyme It Out. I hope you enjoy. See ya!
Jesus is our righteousness. God keeps his promises. God's Son brings peace. God honors faith. God inspires worship. God is trustworthy. God is the one and only. God awakens us. God rescues. God is real. God is always at work. God restores. God is Lord of the harvest. The master builder, God's hand at work.
As we learned from previous weeks, God took care of the Israelites, his chosen people, in amazing ways. It's good to take a moment to remember and celebrate all that God has done in our lives. You know, one of the ways that Israelites celebrated God was through the Feast of First Fruits. During this festival, God's people gave the first part of their barley harvest to the Lord. The Israelites would bring a sheaf or a bundle of the first part of their grain to the temple and offer it to God. It was a reminder that they could trust God to provide the rest of the harvest for them. You know, just like how God provides for the Israelites, He also provides for you and me. We can trust Him to meet all of our needs. I want to ask you, have you ever worked really hard to earn something? Maybe you studied many hours for a test, or maybe you cleaned somebody's house to earn some money to buy a really cool new bike or a new video game. You know, one summer, I worked really hard taking care of babies every day for a whole month. I had to feed them, play with them, even change their dirty diapers. I'm still recovering from that part of it. It was some really hard work. And with every dollar I made from this job, I was putting towards college. I wanted to stay in school, but it was expensive, so I saved as much as I could. After that month, I got a really nice paycheck. I was so happy and so ready to bring that money straight to school. One night, though, when I was reading my Bible, God spoke to me about tithing. Tithing is when you give the first 10% of the money you make back to the Lord. This is a sign of trusting God as our provider. So I calculated how much money this would be, and it came to a total of $180. That was a lot of money that I worked really hard for, and I just had to give it away. I was scared that I wouldn't be able to pay off school if I gave this money to the Lord. But the Holy Spirit kept on speaking to my heart to trust Him. So one Sunday, I brought in my $180 and put it in the offering bag at church. I was nervous, but it felt like a weight was lifted too. You know, that's what happens when we step out in obedience of something that God has asked us to do. So a few months passed and school was starting again in the fall. I met someone to discuss what I still had to pay for school. I was preparing for the worst. But then she said, "It looks like there's been some scholarship money added to your account." I was shocked. And better yet, it was for a grand total of $1,000. I wanted to jump up out of my chair, rejoicing God. I knew that this was a gift straight from Him. Not only did it meet my financial needs at school, but it showed me that God is trustworthy. When I gave Him what felt like a lot, He blessed me with over and above what I could have imagined. Just like the Israelites brought their first harvest grain to the temple, so we as Christians give the first 10% of our money that we make back to God. We can remember and celebrate God as our provider. He is trustworthy to meet every single one of our needs.